Gianni Versace didn't just design clothes, he designed fantasies. But on July 15, 1997, fantasy collided with nightmare. The man who dressed the world's most powerful women, who turned models into goddesses, fell on the steps of his Miami palace. This isn't just a story of sequins and runways, it's about ambition, obsession, and the bullet that silenced a genius. In Reggio Calabria, a dusty southern Italian village, dreams were as rare as silk. But Francesca Versace, a seamstress with hands calloused from survival, saw magic in her son. "Fashion is power," she'd whisper, guiding Gianni's tiny fingers over lace. While neighbors stitched simple dresses, Gianni sketched crowns. By 12, he'd redesigned his sister's communion gown into a masterpiece. Too much, the priest scoffed, but Gianni smiled. Too much would become his anthem. Milan in the 70s was a jungle of egos. Armani preached minimalism, Valentino clung to tradition, but Gianni, he brought a flamethrower. His first collection for Jenny, a riot of leopard print and neon. Critics sneered, "Tacky, vulgar, a circus." Gianni didn't flinch. "Fashion is fearlessness," he told Donatella, and in 1978, with his name on a label and his sister by his side, he declared war on boring. The 80s were Gianni's playground. He dressed Madonna not as a star, but as a warrior. Chains, leather, hips thrust forward. Clothes should scream, he said, and scream they did. Metal mesh, a fabric he stole from industrial factories, became liquid gold on skin. Donatella, his wild-card sister, pushed him further. Why not safety pins? Why not Baroque angels? Together they didn't just break rules, they burned them. 1994, The Four Weddings in a Funeral premiere. Elizabeth Hurley stepped out in a black dress held together by safety pins. The world gasped. This was Versace, dangerous, daring, dripping with defiance. But behind the glitter, Gianni was exhausted. "Fashion is a beast," he confided to Donatella. "It eats you alive." Little did he know, another beast was circling, one with a gun. July 15, 1997. Gianni's morning espresso, a stroll past Miami's pastel Art Deco walls. Then, 2 shots. A man in a gray cap fled. Gianni's blood pooled on the steps of Casa Casuarina. The killer? Andrew Cunanan, a ghost with a grudge against fame itself. "Why, Gianni?" the world begged. But Cunanan's suicide left only silence. And Donatella? She stood in Gianni's studio, clutching his last sketch. A Medusa drowning in tears. Donatella's grief was a storm. Cocaine, depression. "I am not Gianni," she sobbed. But in 1998, she stormed the runway with a collection forged in fire. Gold safety pins, dresses slit to the hip. "This is for you," she whispered backstage. The crowd roared. Critics called it a resurrection. But Donatella knew the truth. Every stitch was a battle cry. "I am his legacy," she said, "and I will not let him die." Today, Versace is more than a brand. It's a rebellion, a neon middle finger to the ordinary. But Gianni's story asks us, what price do we pay for greatness? Would you trade a lifetime of glamour for a moment of violence? If this tale of beauty and blood moved you, smash subscribe, because next week we're dissecting another icon's rise and ruin, and you won't want to miss it. Until then, ask yourself, what's your Medusa? What will you conquer? And what might conquer you?